Hey guys, welcome back to the next video. In this video, we are going to talk about to understand the benefits of global infrastructure. Now, in terms of global infrastructure, there are 2 points which you need to understand. So one is the speed of deployment and the global reach. So these are the two items given as an example over here as part of your exam. And as you can see over here, it says understand the benefits of global infrastructure. Now, this I have a very good example. Why? Because I've faced such a situation earlier in my career as well. So there was this website which is hosted in the data center, which is actually cheap. So what happened is that one of the architects has actually, has hosted all my application related content on the Northern Virginia, because you know that I'm gonna be actually hosting my services on Northern Virginia as well, because it has six availability zones, and the as it has six availability zones over there, so it is much cheaper to host there. But the actual utilization of this website were actually happening in the Europe region. Now, why am I talking about this? It's about global infrastructure. So when you're hosting or when you're selecting, to host AWS services on a region which is in Americas, and your customer actually who access that particular application is in the Europe, it's a very bad way of hosting it, because there is something called latency. So there is something called network latency. Okay. So now what is network latency is when you actually access your website from, let's just say, Poland, okay, which is like the far east side of your Europe, and you try to access the website which is actually hosted or running on a server which is in America, then you kind of it takes time for your request to reach to the server and then get back a response, right? Now, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Oh, okay. So, what is global infrastructure? As AWS provides you services or regions across the world, which has this feasibility of you creating instances or AWS services across the globe. But if you're not going to be utilizing where your customer is, and you're looking out for a different region, then you kind of have the latency where your customer cannot be, they cannot wait. They want the website to be loading instantly, and your application should respond instantly. If not, they would look for another service, and then they just like walk out from your service. So to avoid this situation, we have to firstly understand the customer. So there are two types of, what we're going to talk about is the speed of deployment. Speed of deployment is like when you're updating your application, that's called deployment. And this application should be available where the customer is located. Now, the speed of deployment is about how many customers are going to look at your application in an updated format and how many customers are not going to look at. So the speed of deployment is possible in terms of AWS, because you can always use cross region, and you can deploy application across regions where your customer bases are. Next one is about global reach. Global reach is basically business that can scale your application globally without needing you to establish infrastructure in multiple countries. So you have services in AWS which can expand beyond your region, wherever your customers are, and reduce the latency as well. So both are supported as part of AWS process. And that's what we are actually looking at in this video. So there is no hands-on, because we're not going to discuss about the services as such in this video, because later point of time we'll be talking about some of the services which may be related to this. Let's just say an example: a company launching a new application which needs to be deployed its services in Europe, North America, and Asia simultaneously, reducing the latency of users in different regions and ensuring faster access to your application. So in that situation, your global infrastructure is coming into your hands. Later point of time, we will also see the number of regions. I think we have already seen a little bit in the basic training, but later point of time, we have a specific topic in AWS, your current certification about the regions and all those availability zones, which we will talk in detail. But The question would come in like it will be asking you about is it possible to have to scale an application where your customers are, even though you have deployed it on a different location. So you have to say yes, it is possible, and it is the benefit of global infrastructure which AWS provides. Thank you again for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.